What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Demon Bluff video. It has come to my attention that I'm not very good at explaining what I'm doing as I go. Therefore, in this video, I'm going to do a bit of a tutorial of sorts. So let's get right into it. First things first, in Demon Bluff, there are villagers, outcasts, and evil characters. There are 8 cards in total, and as you can see by evils killed, there are 2 evil characters, 1 minion and 1 demon. I'll explain the difference between a minion and a demon later, but let's just start with the basics. So, first things first, the Oracle says that there is a witch between either 5 or 7. Now, if you are evil, you are lying, which means either 5 or 7 is a witch, or number 1 is evil or corrupted. Corrupted is when a good character is lying due to being like poisoned or drunk or something like that. Number 2 is straight up saying that number 7 is good, which I find a little hard to believe because there are confessors saying they are dizzy. And as you can see by this pop-up, if I am evil or corrupted, I am dizzy. Witch is 1 card away from the closest evil. That's their way of saying the witch is next to the puka. You can see here in the top right, our 2 evils are a witch and a puka. The Slayer kills someone for me. Number 2 is actually a drunk. Now I'm pretty sure that when this is said, it has to be true. Because if a medium correctly identifies somebody's hidden role, then they're right. And if number 2 is actually a drunk, that means 2 is wrong about 7 being good, which means we can confidently kill number 7 because they're a witch. Which allowed us to see a gesture. We'll get what that means in a minute. With a knight, the gimmick is always quite simple. You stab the knight. If the knight is good, nothing happens. If they are corrupted, you lose a whopping 9 HP, so that really sucks. If they're evil, you just killed an evil. So I personally just always stab a knight, unless I have reason to believe they're corrupted. And with a gesture, you pick 3 characters and learn how many of them are evil. So it's quite simple. If the gesture just says 1, then no, the gesture is good. Now, you told me the puka is adjacent to the witch, which I now know cannot be true because neither of them are the puka, so I will stab you. And yes, you were indeed the puka. So that is my explanation of step by step what exactly I was doing throughout this round. Now I'm going to do that again for this round because I have different enemies. So let me unflip all of these cards. And by the way, the reason why I cannot flip the final card is that we have a witch, and a witch's special ability, see, you cannot reveal the last card. Actually, I'll hover my mouse over all of this. Drunk. I disguise as a random, not in play villager. I am corrupted and I lie and cannot be cured. By cannot be cured, they're referring to the alchemist character, which cures corrupted characters in a certain radius of them. A minion is just kind of evil, yeah, they lie in disguise. A witch blocks the last card, and a bot adds 1 fake outcast to the deck view. Because as you can see, we can see that there's a drunk, a bombardier, and a doppelganger. When in actuality, only 2 of those are in play. In fact, only 1 is in play because it says here there's only 1 outcast. And this information is a lot less blatantly obvious than last time, because the Dreamer is active, the Druid is an active card, the Fortune Teller is an action card. Both sides are equally evil. That can only be true if 9 is evil, because 9 is in the middle, and we have an odd number of evils. So frankly, I'm kind of inclined to stab you. And if that's the case, which? Okay, now I just did a lot there, so let me explain. Number 4 was correct, and also number 4 is the doppelganger, which, as you can see, there's only one outcast, so this is the outcast. So there is no drunk and there is no bombardier. And the doppelganger is always telling the truth. And they just impersonate a second character. The druid checks for an outcast, so let me see if the druid says there's a doppelganger. They did not, so the druid must be evil. The druid was evil. Because if the druid were good, the druid would have said, among 3, 4, and 5, there is a doppelganger. Now we'll check the fortune teller. They should say true. Okay, because there is an evil. But yes, so now that means one of these 4 is evil, because they said both sides are equally evil, and we have one in the middle and one on the right. So in order for them to both be equally evil, there has to be one on the left. So we'll start with the jester. You should say there are 2 evils. Yes. You're also telling me both sides are equally evil. One card from a corrupted character. That cannot be true. You must be our minion. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Leave a comment down below whether or not I'm being thorough enough in my explanations of everything that's happening. Since I'm good at this game, everything just feels natural, so I'm not very good at being able to tell exactly how much I have to explain to a first-time player. Right side is more evil. Okay, can't do much with that information yet. Okay, a wretch. I register as a random evil minion to other characters. So that means if somebody were to say, I am 2 cards away from an evil, and the 2 cards away from the wretch, they might just be picking up the wretch. So the wretch is always good, but everybody thinks they are evil. See, they're saying Puka is 2 cards away from an evil, from the closest evil, but if Puka is here or here, they're 2 cards away from the wretch, and the scout would technically not be wrong in that regard. We have 2 outcasts, a plague doctor and a wretch. Ah! Now you're telling me Puka is 1 away from the closest evil. These are conflicting information, so I'll mark these both yellow. They're telling me 7 is a real empress, and 7 is telling me that 1 is evil between 1, 3, and 6. Quite the web of lies we've got going on here. And you're telling me no evils are adjacent to you. Okay. Right off the back, I'm going to check if you're corrupted. You told me that 2 is evil, which you should believe, which means 6 is indeed corrupted, which makes me think if 6 is corrupted, 7 cannot be a real empress, which means 7 was the Puka, of course. And if they lied about 1 being evil between 1, 3, and 6, that means both 1, 3, and 6 are all good. And if 3 is good, that means the Puka is 2 cards away from the closest evil. And this is misinformation, 2 cards away from the Puka. So it stands to reason that I stab you. Yep. Alright. I'll do one more round just to close out the video. Okay. Once again, a witch, a minion, and a Puka. Now, I don't think I actually explained it, but the Puka can corrupt the 2 adjacent characters to them, which you might have gathered based on the last round. So let's take it from the top. Minion is 2 cards away from the closest evil, but you're saying Puka is 2 cards away from the closest evil, which makes me think Minion and Puka are 2 cards away from each other, so that seems valid. You're Slayer, so I'll save that for later. Actually, I'll attack you. No? No. Are you telling the truth? You lied to me. Okay. Alright. right? You're probably both corrupted or something. Okay. Anyways, the reason why I suspected the dreamer was because you said there's one evil adjacent to you, and I didn't know you were evil at the time, while you said 7 is good. So, if you're clearing them and they're insistent that one of you two is evil, but you're on their side, then I would assume you must be evil. But no, you were evil. The reason why I then stabbed them was because the Slayer failed to kill this one, so I suspected this must be misinformation, and I was correct. Now let me use the fortune teller on the Puka and another character, and they said true, there is an evil. You're telling me 6 is a real dream. I will take your word for it. And you both insist that there's 2 cards away somewhere or other, so I shall stab here. Puka is 2 cards away from the closest evil. That is guaranteed true. If you are evil, if you are the witch, technically, you could still be lying. But we have to have an outcast, and the only outcast we could have is a doppelganger, so I'm going to say that you are also telling the truth. And 6 has to be a real dreamer, because if this is the witch, that would mean you are lying, because Puka would be 1 away. That means, by process of elimination, our witch must be the Slayer. Watcha! Phenomenal. And with that tutorial video completed, thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. And until next time, take care.